You want it to occur or you don't, and you think you can avoid it. You can't run away from shibud malchut. You can't run away from that. You can't run away from it. From shibud malchut until Mashiach comes, that's the one aspect. But it means you can't run away from a situation. It'll find you. It will find you no matter where you are. It'll find you, and when you go on a vacation, it'll find you. How does it find you? You sit on that tarmac for 7 hours in the snowstorm, that suddenly the plane can't take off. You're going on a vacation. What more?
Nice.
Nothing. I mean, no care in the world now. Taking off, right?
Lots of mosquitoes.
Leaving everything behind. What's that?
Lots of mosquitoes.
Or whatever.
But Rob, don't you always carry that with you? It's not that you're leaving it behind. It's not that it's going to find you.
But we think we leave it behind.
But it's really, it's inbuilt within us, isn't it?
The reason it's inbuilt because we are demanding to have everything. And when you demand everything, you've got to have the splash. The splash is the uncomfortable part. Where is the most uncomfortable scene of the pebble and the pond? Which point?
At this epicenter, right in the middle.
Right there in the middle. Right at the point where everything is going to start, where everything is going to become revealed. That's where the uncomfortability has to occur. This is the paradox. It's unavoidable. But we haven't convinced ourselves yet that it is unavoidable. We are always running, or the Jew is always running away from that point, thinking he will find it elsewhere. Why does he run all the time? Why does he run? Because he thinks that elsewhere he'll find it better. Or why does he always, when I say running from one city, even in his own place of business, why doesn't he sit, wait for the orders to come in? Wait a second, I mean, yeah. Why do anything? Open up the store, and then all the customers will come.
Just by opening the door.
Just by opening the door. Open up the door. Will it happen? Never, right? When it'll never happen, that's when it doesn't happen. You decided, but maybe someone's going to try one day and say, I'm going to open up a door, and I'm not going to advertise, and I'm just going to wait for those people to come in who are going to say, this is the last store I'm going to buy. I only came in to tell you that this store is the place where I don't buy. Right? That's the kind of customers we're going to get. Wow, if we can only have a couple thousand of those customers, because that's what's going to reveal all the other customers. Is that the way you're going to think?
We do. With somebody who complains, we learn from the complaint. Right? If somebody doesn't work in my place, if let's say they come, they say, well, I went to the bathroom and it was filthy, and oh, thank you.
Or, listen, you have a free choice. You don't like my setup? Go elsewhere. That's the other answer, right? But the one who's smart will say thank you. He's uncomfortable at that point.
That's right.
He's uncomfortable at that point. Or he can go one step further. Was it really bad? Was it really bad? It was terrible. Oh, I'm sorry that it wasn't even worse. All right. Who's going to try it? Who's going to try it? Can't let go, I mean, you can't let go. You know what I mean? Try it. Try it. We learn that that's the only way, in fact, that it works. We learn it's the only way it works.
In other words, you're saying to open a business, not to advertise, and just to load yourself
And pray that nobody walks in. Well, I don't want to say pray that everybody walks in.
You say, get away from here.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. Oh, when he wants to buy. In my mind, if he won't buy, only if he doesn't buy, because if he buys, then this is what I'm getting, this is what the purpose was originally, right? Why did I open up the store if not to really get customers? But at that moment when a customer comes in, to the point where you'll say, oh, I would really be happy if he walked out. I'd really be happy if he walked out. He's never going to walk out. You don't have to insult him. We're not, this is not the requirement. This is between you and you. This is not between me and him. But in thought, what's restriction? What is restriction? What is restriction?
Not
If
for
you
me
have
alone.
to reject him, how do you reject him without affecting him?
Now you see, if a man comes over and he bought a nail, he needs a nail, right? And he puts down the 2 cents for the nail. I'll say, who needs your 2 cents? Take your 2 cents back. I don't want to sell it to
No,
you.
that's very rude. I'm talking about
That
rejection.
why aren't you allowed to do that? That I won't be able to do. Why? Because are you permitted to hurt somebody? Here we're talking about rejection and sharing. Listen, what can I do? I have no choice. I must take his 2 cents, because if I didn't take the 2 cents, I would insult him. Out of no choice, I'll have to take the 2 cents. Now he comes and he wants to buy. He wants to buy all the furnishings for a house, which amounts to about $90,000. Now, I really don't want it. Now, I have one of two choices. I can throw him out of the store, or say I have no choice, but I'll have to take his money. Right? But if this genuine feeling is that, wow, look at this sale, and I reject that.
Just reject that feeling of, oh, what is.
That's right.
Just that feeling.
That's just that feeling.
Just the thought.
Right.
That's right.
You don't want to reject the
I-
fact that he's coming in. And you don't
I have
wanna
no
reject
right. I have no right to project myself
onto somebody
onto
else.
somebody else. That's not what we're talking about.
Good distinction.
Like I'll say, I know what's good for you. It can stretch. I know you shouldn't buy it. Why should you waste all that money? Right? So there,
Or
I'm really
restriction
expressing the restriction, right?
Or if somebody wants to buy a certain amount, you tell him, no, I can't give you that much. I can give you only half.
No,
Right.
no.
It's a form
Do
of-
I have a
That's not
right?
what
Do I have a right to do that?
To give him
Now
less.
already I'm interfering in what that man wants. You see, that also is another rule, isn't it? Nobody's permitted to interfere in anybody else's in anyone else's, program, right? If he wants to buy, I don't know why the reason he wants to buy. He's got maybe 1,000 other things going with this purchase, right? Maybe he's even buying it for a building that he can have achnasat ochim. He's buying it, which I don't know, and I'm not going to ask him why he's buying it. He may be buying it so he can put up a building where he can now feed homeless. Are you allowed to say don't buy it? Who are you to restrict that man from doing such a beautiful thing? So you're never permitted to interfere, because then you have to go into all of the thoughts of what that man is about. And obviously we have no right to interfere into someone else's tikkun or someone else's process. But what is between me and myself, there, if you have total rejection on every step of the way, you will have total fulfillment. Do you follow me? So you go through this trip and you say, well, I really want this sale. Why do I want the sale? Because I know probably he wants to do something good with it, right? So I would really reject it, and I wouldn't take his money. But I know usually when someone comes in, everyone wants to purchase only for the sake of providing a home for the homeless, right? Everybody who walks into a home center isn't buying it for himself, right? So how can I reject? Well, that also is not correct. In other words, either way, you never interfere and make the cheshbon of the other fellow. You have to make your cheshbon.